So, of course, we start with Isis. And Isis, in her initiation, what's happening there is Isis helps us clear a lot of oaths and vows. For some of us, thousands of lifetimes of, we pick up a lot of wounding along the path of having a soul. And we make a lot of agreements that keep us small instead of in our full power. To other species, to other lifetimes, to other religious agreements that would keep us from being in our full sovereign power. So when we're stepping into mentorship with Isis, where she's helping us get really serious about the truth that we're extremely powerful and how to get sober from our fears about that and how to fully embrace it. Isis for me is all about stepping into your divine purpose, your message, your offering, getting important projects completed. Also knowing that you can be in your power with your in the center of your family structure and your relationship, whether your partnership especially, but also how you relate to others. She's very relationship oriented because she knows that relationships are how anything gets done here on the earth plane. So she's going to help you look at all the ways that you might be afraid to relate to others, which could help you step more into your power. Really interesting. And she's also extremely glamorous. So along with Mary Magdalene, they're great mentors for reclaiming the divine feminine, adorning yourself, loving your body, letting go of shame conditioning, being in your
full feminine.
Yeah, full feminine. And this is for men too. She's really a mentor for how you present yourself to the world, and then it's safe to be powerful. Hathor, we take a pretty significant jump with Hathor. Isis was one of Hathor's greatest initiates. And Hathor created a mystery school when she walked the earth that spanned half the planet.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we're talking about
where's your school?
Everywhere. Yeah. So, when Hathor walked the earth, we were living in a different kind of potential. You could call it an extreme golden age. And Hathor took that golden age to an entirely new level. In the Sophia Code, we share how she was at her mystery schools hosting ceremonies and initiations with teachers from the Sirius star system. They were shape-shifting to reveal humanity's full potential to shape-shift themselves and use their DNA. That form is actually quite pliable and flexible.
Well, we really
quantum.
are just energy. We're just energy.
So, her teachings are all about our quantum potential. And really in the Sophia Code, what you're doing is she's the one initiation where we're quite consciously, it's happening in every initiation, but she spells it out. You actually activate the bridges of light from the edges of your DNA, the ladders of your DNA, to the divine genome and the subatomic universe of your DNA. So I had to really go deep with Hathor to understand these divine genome teachings that the Sophia Code presents. And actually, I just had the most amazing conversation with the
Kashif Khan, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so brilliant.
Company.
He actually had information that I had seen, that I had channeled.
That's so cool. I
know about
for
DNA.
People who don't know, he owns a company called the DNA Company.
Yes,
you can get your basically your DNA read to what pathways are open, closed, how your hormones work. But yes, it is so informational. And so just for people so they can go into it if they want. But yes, Kashif is brilliant.
We were having this conversation the other night because of you. Thank you. And he's the most amazing person. I have so much respect for his work and his mind. And he was saying, well, this one part about how light works with DNA. And I said, wait. I've never seen that in any, book on DNA and Western science. And he's like, oh, that's because it's not there. That's when we it was it's only what the elite would know. And I was just like,
you guys were
the words out. I said, the words you just said, I've been saying those words for 10 years, building bridges of light from the biological DNA to the divine genome within the subatomic universe of our genetics. And so that was an extraordinary moment for me. And it's really Hathor that, being guided by Hathor that kind of initiated me to have the courage to come forward with those teachings at a time where I knew I couldn't prove it. Like I still can't prove it, but I know that it's true. And I know that it's real because I risked everything to share that message with the world.
Well, there's a great scene in Contact, the movie. And it's where Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, like she's all science and he's all spirituality. And he's challenging her and he says, did you love your dad? Because her dad died when she was young. And she goes, of course. And he goes, prove it. And you can't. Like, how are you going to prove you love your dad or your mom or your someone? Like, you can't. You just know it. You just freaking know it.
Well, it's funny you brought up that example because it was my love for humanity, that humanity's future, that, how could I say no to the master's request to share that information? It was because of love that I risked being a fool to share that with the world. And, what I love about Hathor is that I believe Hathor's teachings in the Sophia Code are really getting us ready for interstellar communion with beings of the highest light. Not the beings that are currently oppressing the planet, but our star families, our ancient families from across the multiverse that are just waiting for enough of humanity to wake up that we can have that deep tantric communion, right, with all that is, including other species that are extremely enlightened and ready to, such as the Hathor Star Nation, that are ready to help us step into a much brighter future. So,
and it should be said too that the book has key code DNA activations, like things that you say out loud. Not only reading the book is an activation, but maybe go into that just a little, just so people know that as we're talking about DNA. I mean, think if people just like for a second, just go, we are all energy. If you put all the people on the planet together and put together their actual matter. I just heard, when I interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson, he said, whatever size of apple. The other day I heard it was the size of a sugar cube. Point is all the human beings, actual real matter put together on the planet is freaking nothing. We are just energy. So now go into, please, just just what the role of the activations.
Yeah. So in my really early journey, when I was in college, I was studying computer programming for animation and design. And I have my degree is in web and branding and actually animation. And I always wondered, like, okay, am I supposed to go deeper and deeper into this program hard coding? And I got the message no, and I was like, but why am I so interested in it? And they were like, it'll be revealed, down the road. So when I first saw the divine genome, all these years in seclusion, meditating with the Ascended Masters, I realized that the Sophia Code was actually hard coded. It needed to be initiations that were hard coding to literally flip on the switches that would connect the divine genome to the carbon-based DNA. And that the brilliance of the Sophia Dragon Tribe was that they wanted people to do this through the power of their own voice. Ooh, I just got chills, because the power of your own voice is actually what activates your divine genome. This bridge of light connection, these crystalline bridges of light that you can consciously connect, and not only connect, but they become a super highway for the divinity of your higher self to start downloading like an operating system into the interface of the divine genome, with then is now connected as bridges of light to the human body. And because it's crystalline, there's no amount of light. It's like an infinite amount of light that can be downloaded into your body. And over time, this is why Saint starts to literally like glow, right? Like you see pictures of like Ananda Moyman, she's like glowing, or Paramahansa Yogananda, and they look like there's light coming out of their skin. It's because there is. They found a way to activate their divine genome, and this This technology has the power to anchor an infinite amount of God source light in your body. And we all have this power. We all have this potential. And so what they showed me is the throat chakra, the power of your throat chakra, the resonance, which Mother Mary talks about in actually Hathor's chapter. So we're still talking about Hathor, has the power on this bottom vitri of your throat chakra to, it's what creates reality through the power of your voice. This one little petal at the bottom of your throat chakra.
Stop it.
The resonance that comes through your voice through this one little part of your throat chakra. And that resonance, when you start to, that's why Hathor in the Sophia Code is called She of 1,000 Voices. What she is attempting to activate within humanity is that we all have this voice to create reality. And so when we start to notice and feel the shifts of the divine genome operating our human body and our human awareness in new ways, then we make the cognitive connection. Oh my God, I did that. I'm sovereign. If I can do that, what else can I do?
Realize your power.
Yeah. And so these initiations do two things simultaneously. They initiate your divine genome, which then starts an operating system that simultaneously starts clearing viral programming and trauma from all your lifetimes simultaneously, while also begins the downloading process of your higher self within every cell of your body. No big deal, kind of the everything. And it's like it, and then there's this reinforcement of each of these ascended masters. As you complete their initiation, they're saying, I now commit to you as a mentor and a spiritual guide for what it's going to take to live in these divine qualities that you're now going to go on a journey of embodying in your daily life. And so that's what's happening. And the recordings of the initiations help reinforce and help you deepen and integrate and accept the divine genome operating your awareness, your ego. Because what happens is you have to go through an ego structure meltdown, right? Like it's got to start to
they're
integrate.
fun.
Yeah, it's got to start to integrate with the light of your higher self. And that's why people start a spiritual journey and they're like, and then they end up giving up because
they're like, fuck this. This is miserable.
It's too hard, right?
Too hard. Because it's not all fucking puppies and rainbows.
No, there are skulls and flaming swords involved in a true spiritual awakening.
And meltdowns, like rising phoenix, man, over and over again.
Totally.
Yeah.
So when you invoke that much light, you also are becoming more aware of the darkness that's been waiting for you to see inside of yourself. And so these initiations really start the process of allowing enough light to come and override the ego structure's demands on your awareness and what you're going to do with your life. And it starts to break the chains of the programming that would have you forget who you are and start the process of remembering who you really are.
Yeah.
So it's not any surprise that they put Green Tara after Hathor, because Green Tara, who ascended in the star system Sirius and then was invited by the Divine Mother to help oversee humanity's awakening on this planet. She is a total expert on how to overcome the ego structure and how devastating the ego structure and how wily it is. It can, what it takes to outwit it through love, self-love and self-compassion. And so she's extraordinary. I could talk about Tara for hours, but for the sake of time, she helps us really see both our sovereign potential and our attachments to suffering. And her angelic order are called the Dakinis. And they're often like these pictured as these radical, wrathful deities, divine feminine Buddhas that come forward to protect you from you, to protect you from your own sabotage.
So if you call on Green Tara to help guide, to be your guide, to help you in this journey, she's going to send extra protection.
Yeah, I mean, she alone is
right.
Larger. I mean, she's called the mother of all Buddhas, if that says anything. So, it's like all of Buddhism came from Tara's arrival to this planet. And it's amazing how much the divine feminine gets kind of written out of Buddhism.
Right, exactly.
Just saying,
every Buddha's a guy, right?
Yeah. Well, and they do teach that the Dakinis are female Buddhas, but it's amazing kind of I won't go into all of that. I want to stay really positive. But what I love about Tara and the Dakinis in the Sophia Code is the full reclamation of the divine feminine transmission that gave birth to Buddhism on this planet. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Plain and simple.
There it is. So, and then we move into Mother Mary, right? And each of these key code initiations are connected to a chakra. So here we have Mother Mary at the heart chakra. And Mother Mary is the spiritual mother that we've always wanted. We meet her in the Sophia Code, free of religious doctrine, free of religious dogma. And what people don't know about Mother Mary, they think of Mother Mary as like this little girl in a major scene, right? I think Mother Mary gets to speak like 4 times in the Bible at the most, and it's not much. And the truth is that Mother Mary was initiated into the mysteries at a very early age. Her mother was an extreme high priestess of Hathor. She was an oracle, Anna, high priestess of Hathor, trained in Egypt. And so Mary was born to one of the most powerful oracles on the planet at that time. Her mother knew exactly who she was giving birth to when she gave birth to Mary. Mary was an extraordinary orator. She was a divine feminine speaker.
Is that like an oracle? Oh,
yes, like a speaker of the highest level, divine feminine teacher of the greatest mysteries of the heart. You know, her mentors in communion and Tantra communion and her psychic development were Isis and Hathor and Green Tara and Kuan Yin. I mean, she led a mystery school with her mother that trained, you know, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I mean, that's saying something. Right. And an entire community that, you know, embraced them and their ministry. It wasn't just Jesus and Magdalene and Mary that were, you know, transforming the world. There were so many initiates embodying their divinity at that time. And that's, you know, and she was a spiritual mother to Mary Magdalene was so fiery. You know,
yeah,
she was like the indigo. She's like the indigo of the Ascended Master world. She's just like, I don't, you know, she wanted to break all the rules. You know, she just wanted to go right after the Roman Empire, you know, with all of her psychic gifts and burn everything down. And of course, like she just had that Kali Ma Sekhmet righteous rage for her people. And that's how we meet her in her chapter, just this raw, beautiful, powerful.
Was she an
gorgeous
Aries? She had to have been.
Yeah, it must have been, right? She was just wow. She's a wow. And you know, I love that the Sophia Code talks about her relationship with Mother Mary, and that there was this true like spiritual legacy between Magdalene's family, Mother Mary's family, Jesus and Magdalene. There's Anna, like this connection to Egypt, Tibet, and India. And so Magdalene we get to meet Mary Magdalene as Magdalene. Like, of course, Jesus is there and their ministry is there. But what's so important to me about how we meet Magdalene in the Sophia Code is we get to meet her. So many people introduce Magdalene in context to the other. How she is defined by her relationship to Jesus. How is she defined by her relationship with her sexuality? It's like in the Sophia Code, she is defined for the woman that she is, as the angel in human form that she is, as you know, as the head of a movement that totally transformed the world. Yes, alongside the head, you know, someone else who was the head of a movement as well. They co-led a movement of grace and lightning and thunder and consciousness, radical consciousness. And so she teaches us that we are all awakeners of that same consciousness, and that we've got to be willing to embody that same angelic light that they did, that she actually shares in the Sophia Code. We are a continuation of their mission. And if you are attracted to Mary Magdalene, it's because you've been a Magdalene for many, many lifetimes. Like, Magdalene is a title. It's those souls that are willing to bring their light into the darkest of places for the radical transformation and awakening of a species. And so Mary Magdalene helps us open our angel wings and own them.
Love her. Love her.
Oh, God. And everything else that goes along with it. I mean, each of them are like a whole universe of a wealth of resources. I'm trying to sum them up. Kuan Yin. I don't know. I don't know which is. I would venture to say it's my most favorite chapter in the Sophia Code. It reads like a movie, and we meet Kuan Yin as a child, when her village is attacked, and she is raped and tortured, and her family is killed in front of her, and her village is burned to the ground. That's where we meet Kuan Yin. And then we go on a journey with her into the jungle of her grief, where her divine masculine counterpart appears to help awaken the divine feminine Christ consciousness within her. And what it took for her to heal in the witnessing of the divine masculine on this journey of self-love, self-compassion, painful self-compassion, painful embracing of the full journey of healing from trauma into soul power. And then what happens at the end where he ascends in front of her, and then she gets to become this larger than life teacher of compassion, true and authentic awakening to compassion. The power of that compassion, as she teaches in the Sophia Code, she is here to mentor those divine feminine leaders that are here in this lifetime, that are here to lead through authentic self-compassion for themselves first. So this diamond of compassion teachings, this diamond vehicle from Kuan Yin comes in at Key Code 6. We've got this building of Isis and Hathor and green tar, like super powerful, and let's go. And Mother Mary's like, let's open your heart and and Magdalene's like, get into your leadership. And all of a sudden, we're staring eye to eye with Kuan Yin and all this inner child healing in this Key Code 6 initiation, where your inner child flows down this river to meet Kuan Yin under this beautiful willow tree. And you have this trees. Oh my God. And you have this huge conversation and activation of the Phoenix child.
Oh my gosh. This is my chapter.
With the invincible innocence
That's what this is supposed to be done for. This is like a rising Phoenix painting.
This is for you, right? The invincible innocence within you that was never touched or harmed by anything that you have survived in this lifetime.
You feel that too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably why it's one of your favorite chapters.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the hardest chapters for me to surrender into, because I had so much healing from everything I survived in the first half of my life. And yet I think it's the most beautiful. It's that to meet your Phoenix child and to realize that it is the master of light that you are invoking within you. Like, it is your future self. It is your ascended master self that always existed within you, that could survive anything without your soul, being taken from you. Source of your sovereignty and your purity that can never be touched. So this chapter is where most people totally break down and weep and have the biggest breakthroughs of their life. And what I love about this is that I think there's a lot of people out there thinking that they can just do this spiritual, divine purpose leadership, rah thing, from a headspace where if we just achieve enough, we'll get there. Mm-hmm. But this is an authentic path of spiritual awakening has to be from that genuine space of where the most broken places within you.
Which is hard to go to.
Because it's from that place that you can compassionately serve anyone. No matter what they have survived, no matter how triggered their egos are, you can see yourself in them because you were brave enough to love the one within you that once reacted or once, did the same things that someone else is doing right in front of you. It's like leadership is service. Mm-hmm. And true, authentic spiritual awakening is awakening to the truth that we're here to love one another the way Jesus taught. Mm-hmm. To really see each other's potential means we got to hold the line and hold the bar high for each other.
Yeah.
And when people say, I am my trauma, we have to say, no, you're not.
No.
You're
Exactly.
more than your trauma. And that's what
Right.
Kuan Yin mentors us in.
Yeah.
And I know it because I lived it. I'm not asking you to believe me because I didn't go within to find out for myself. You know, Kuan Yin brings some humility into the picture that I think is a beautiful temperance to to the unlimited power that we're accessing here in the Sophia Code, within our hearts and our divine genome. And White Buffalo Woman comes in at Key Code 7, and holy smokes, like channeling that chapter, that took a lot. That took many years of training in the Native American church to understand why White Buffalo Woman had come and asked me to do this and to include her.
And why did she?
Well, for starters, she's the only ascended master in this planet that is native to this planet.
So you're saying that all the other ascended masters,
they come from other star systems.
From other star systems.
Mm-hmm.
So she came from this star system, or she started her journey on this planet?
She's like a combo. She's a combo, kind of like an archangel, thunder being / ascended master, because she has touched down in human form. Therefore, we can
nature oriented. Is she more like planetary nature oriented, or is she?
She's a master of the source, of original source teachings found within every indigenous culture on the planet. So she's overseeing the treasure of earth wisdom that is absolutely essential for humanity's ascension.
This was her, like, when they say Gaia, like the planet, what is her relationship with
the Earth's consciousness?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's a part of tending to its ecosystem. She's a part of protecting the heart of Mother Earth, like the spiritual consciousness of Mother Earth, and communicating the wisdom and spiritual consciousness of Mother Earth. And also, she's part of an angelic order that we call in the Sophia Code the Order of Sky Grandmothers. These extremely ancient ancestors that have been watching over the Earth's ascension. Like, we as a species have an ascension path, but so does the Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. The planet has its own ascension journey as well.
What's Pachamama?
Well, that would be connected to the traditions of how they would refer to the Earth and the Earth lineages in South America, Central America. Many names for the same consciousness. So, yeah, one of the things that White Buffalo Woman initiates us in the Sophia Code is stepping into the power of a Christ admission. So one of the weirdest things that happened to me in the Sophia Code was the Ascended Masters kept saying they wanted me to use the word Christ for Christ consciousness in the book. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's so religion-y. Like, please don't make me do that. I feel so uncomfortable with that. And so I would write it in, but I kept reserving the right to eventually find another word or edit it out, or I don't know. I just kept, there was such a resistance there, and it was actually White Buffalo Woman. Oh my God, I'll never forget this. So there's a teacher, a Lakota teacher, who is named Black Elk, and he shares his version of White Buffalo Woman's return or visit to his people, where she brings the sacred pipe to Earth physically, descends from heaven, and there's this whole story that was passed down for generations. And I was reading through it in his book, The Sacred Pipe. I was like, wait a minute. Everything about this story is messianic. It literally has all the same Christian principles of a Messiah figure, prophecies that must come true for that messianic messenger to fulfill the prophecies that they spoke. And here's the thing, her prophecies came true. Her prophecy was that in the age that her consciousness would return to the planet, the white buffalo would appear upon the earth as an emanation of her grace. And in our lifetime, the white buffalo, which are an entirely new genetic species, have appeared upon the planet. They're not albino, they're not bred to be, there are at least 20 truly, totally new genetic white buffalo on the planet, held by Cynthia Golden Bear.
Now I know why you love white buffalo so much.
Yeah. And I've had the good fortune of meeting them and working with Cynthia, and they are truly prophecy animals. And so White Buffalo said to me, she said, look, my people, the First Nations people, were genocided in the name of Christianity. And there is no greater reclamation for people to understand the holiness of my teachings and to talk about them in terms of Christ consciousness, because it's exactly what I've been teaching all along. And so there was this really interesting language dynamic that came in where she was like, I need people to understand that the oracular languaging of mystical Christian tradition, which is, predates the organized Roman religion, the oracular things that we look to in mystic initiations is exactly what White Buffalo Woman's appearance and her teachings that she brought to the people, as well as her ascension and her prophecies coming true. They're literally like, they follow the formula of what is prescribed in mystic Judaic tradition for a Messiah figure.
Oh my
And
God.
that just blew my hair back. I was just like, whoa, okay, so what is White Buffalo Woman really doing here? She's initiating us into our own sovereign Christhood. We are all Christed beings in the eyes of God. We are all divine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or you could say Buddha beings that are awakening to the truth of our true nature. And so she really, she's really about the collective mission. So by the time you reach Key Code 7, if you get that far, which I hope you do, it's like, game on. You are wondering, what is my divine purpose and how am I here to serve? So in the 8th initiation, which is actually Key Code 777, I wonder why it took 7 years to download those, huh?
Oh, really? And you're summing it up in a short amount of time, in 30 or 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh. We meet the holiest seraphim of the Divine Mother. We meet these angelic beings. In the Kabbalah, the seraphim are called the fiery creatures of God. And I knew, and I found that piece of information because it was really extraordinary for me to see these angelic, holy creatures that were dragons. They weren't dragons connected to this world. They weren't dragons connected to any planet. They were these holy creatures of God that were singing at the throne of the Divine Mother's consciousness, whatever that, in that space where the nothingness, the no thing, the black womb of no thing turns into the light of creation. That to me is the heart, the sacred heart of Divine Mother. And at that place, that's where those seraphim are singing and assisting creation to come into form according to a divine will. And so they are initiators of our consciousness to recognize that we have the power to co-create with divine will. And to live as Jesus taught in this world, but not of this world, fully activated and living in our highest potential to create a new sovereign reality. Because dragon medicine, it's like dragons are masters of both heaven and earth. It's so appropriate that this energy is coming in at this time to help us overcome the Luciferian interstellar war that we're facing. Like, we would need protectors, we would need activators at this level of sovereignty.
If you like this clip and you want to hear the whole episode, click at the bottom of your screen.